Hi and welcome to the Art of Tarot. My name is Stefanie and this is a reading for Pisces for summer 2020. This is a bonus that I do for 2020 for a couple of signs, because normally I used to do birthday readings, birthday Celtic cross, and then eventually I had to stop. So I'm picking up on where I stopped again. And yeah, this is Pisces. This is the last reading that I didn't do for the birthday, so it's a summer bonus. Consider it as a summer bonus reading, and it is a Celtic cross that is also a little bit more in depth, because I did 2 readings in German, actually 2 live readings for the eclipses, and Pisces seem to have a really hard time right now. So that actually worked well, that it's the next sign that I wanted to do a reading on. So yeah, hi Pisces. The cards are already out because I did this in German earlier. So if you want to really check on the shuffling, then you can do that in the German video. But I promise you, this is how the cards came out. And yeah, this is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars. In the description box you can see what that means if you're not so much into astrology, and how you can find that out and figure that out. But in general, Sun, Moon, Rising is the most accurate. If you wanna follow my Instagram, then you find all the information in the description box below, my Facebook, and also if you want to donate to this channel, you find my PayPal link if you want to contribute to the work I do here. All right, so let's have a look, Pisces. I think for you, the most prominent planetary movement going on is Neptune going retrograde in your sign. And Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So this is in general a good thing. Neptune is hanging out there for a while now and will continue hanging out there. So now it's going retrograde. That means that you're really revisiting your dreams, your visions. Also your subconscious gets activated. Things that are more in the fantasy realm of things get more activated. And we have a couple of cards here really suggesting that for you. We have the 7 of Cups in your subconscious in reverse. We have the Moon card in reverse. We do have the Wheel of Fortune here as well. So I think you're in a phase probably where it's a lot about evaluating what is real, what is not real, and finding out and figuring out how to really spot that new safe door opening where you feel like you can really start a new way of building things that are more stable, more long-term, committed, and more secure for yourself. This could be in relationships, this could also be just in personal projects or in your career. With the Ace of Coins in reverse here on the bottom of the deck, I think for you right now it's really hard to spot that chance or to define that for you, what that actually means. So you're working yourself out with the 5 of Coins. You've been working yourself out of the feeling, I think, and you've been, it looks like the card suggests that you put a lot of work into this feeling of not being left out, not being in this sort of victim mentality, trying to really get out of that attitude, to really make sure that you don't blame things on the environment, stuff like that. So I think there has been a lot of work that you've put into it, and I think it looks like you made a lot of progress, but also it led you to a moment in your higher consciousness where you really had to re-evaluate your belief system. So the Hierophant really talks about a belief system, about what our soul really yearns for, what we want to live out in the real world. So how do we want to, for example, live our spiritual practice? How do we want to live our relationships so that they're fulfilling for our soul, really, on a soul level, not so much on a practical level. How do we want to commit to an idea that is our own tradition? Because the Hierophant in reverse also speaks about being critical about tradition, or figuring out what you want to keep, what you want to bring in, what new stuff you want to bring to the table when it comes to tradition, when it comes to building your own little belief system. You know, you could even be questioning marriage, you could be questioning traditional partnership, or traditional religious beliefs as well. So there's a lot of re-evaluating and questioning and being critical with this Neptune Pisces retrograde, and with this Hierophant in reverse and the Seven of Cups, especially the Seven of Cups in reverse. Also very much looking at your options and what options are actually really fulfilling to you. I think there is huge progress already that is coming in through your subconscious. In your subconscious, I think something really actually already changed, where you understand that your subconscious already starts to understand how not everything that is gold, not everything that is gold is expensive. That's what we say in German, you know. Not everything that shines is gold. That's what we say. And that not every option is necessarily even just because it looks good, or not every wish, not every fantasy, just because it looks good in your imagination, is actually something that is emotionally fulfilling. And it all comes to the situation of the Empress in reverse, that really asks you to look at your groundedness in your female power. Because the Strength card also is very much about female power. And when I say power, I don't mean that in a... Power has such a weird connotation, you know, people who use the word power, it constantly gets just misinterpreted. It's more like in a strong position within your own femininity, and still having the ability of being gentle. Especially with the Strength card, it's a lot about gentleness, used as a force, if you know what I mean. So with gentleness, with gentle boundaries, with gentle communication, you can tame the beast within yourself, within the other person. So that is what the Strength card is all about. This beast really speaks of more instinctive behaviors that we have within ourselves, more the animalistic drives that we have within ourselves, and how we gently can control those with gentle boundaries that we give ourselves and also others. And this has a lot to do with female sexuality as well, which obviously makes sense. So here there's a big emphasis on femininity. How do I define that for myself, and how do I feel grounded and stable within that, and how can I see my femininity as strength? That also works for men. Even if you're a man watching this reading, that's very much also something where you can, if you identify as male, you can also look at that female side within you, at that female energy, at that receptive, strong, observing energy that really draws in information, that is a magnet for information, that is a magnet for people, that is a magnet for all sorts of energies coming towards it, because the strength of the energy attracts. So just be careful with the attraction part. Also with the Empress, you can attract, of course, attractive works on a lot of people, so you have to be careful what you attract. That's why also the Empress is the selector. Mother Nature is the selector, you know, she selects what can come into her circle and what not. So she is in reverse here, which means a lot of things, obviously, but it's also a suggestion. Often for me, I read it as being more mindful of letting things come towards you rather than going for them. So right now it's important to look within yourself, to let things come towards you, and to let information also come towards you, not necessarily go after it so much. Which doesn't mean not trying out things, because underneath the Ace of Coins here we have the Six of Swords, which suggests that you will be able to step into this new way of thinking, mostly new way of processing, new way of experimenting also with a new situation, because the old situation doesn't work anymore and you have to really move away from where you're at, especially within your head. Open your head up for new possibilities, for new ways of dealing with things, for also a new adventure, because this is a very adventure driven card, I would say here, going from the more ruffled waters into the calmer waters. And you're not alone in this boat, so that's always a nice thing about this card. And underneath we have the Sun, so this is really the way for you to really find even closer, get even closer to your true authentic self. And this is also what your true authentic self calls you to do. So then what we're moving into here with the Four of Swords in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune, I think it's really a lot about giving yourself the time and seeing time as a spectrum, really, in this case. So you might experience with the Moon in reverse, the Seven of Cups in reverse, this Wheel of Fortune, Four of Swords in reverse. There's a lot of energies that might that could feel like time is really stretching out, and then again like getting compact, and it's just like this weird spectrum. It doesn't feel continuous, and you could be very much in a dreamy Neptunian sort of energy where you're very much in your thoughts and your fantasies, and your also emotional world is very strong, and there's maybe things coming up from your subconscious that you cannot really decode, and that I can also feel like for Pisces it can be really visions, pictures, things that really come up from your subconscious that you see, that you cannot really put your finger on what that means, you know. So with the Four of Swords, it really asks you to, it's okay to rest and let those pictures just come up and not have them make sense yet, and not get spooked by them, you know. It's part of this karmic wheel process right now, of this Wheel of Fortune process, to I don't want to say reprogram, but restructure your consciousness. I feel like there's really like this layer work. There's several layers just put together in different ways, so you can have a new understanding of things. And this is very much the Six of Swords, a new understanding, a new mental breakthrough to go into a new direction, even though you don't necessarily know the goal yet, but it's more like trying out new things, gathering new information, going into new places where you can really learn new things, because staying in this place is done now, but it's being done for you in a way. So for you, it's really about sitting in these waters, which I think as Pisces you can do and you're really good at doing. It is definitely rough waters, and it's waters that move a lot. There's a lot of, it's like, you know, when water gets moved a lot and then it's not very clear. And I feel like it's asking you for the next 2 or 3 weeks to just stay still and let the water clear down. And give yourself the time to just get mental clarity again, without you necessarily doing actively so much, by just experiencing this. And I know this is difficult, but I think for Pisces it's much easier than for a lot of other signs. So you can definitely do this, Pisces. We have from the external influences here the Fool card in reverse, which also suggests there is nothing that you can now seek or find outside that gives you this new jump start. It's okay to sit in this and let the universe work for you, especially with the Wheel of Fortune. And that this move or this restructuring of consciousness for you right now is a work of a higher source, or of God, or of whatever you want to call it, and that you are asked to let this higher source work for you and experience all the layers. And it's difficult with the Moon in reverse. I think it's difficult for you because it gets very confusing at times and it's very unclear at times, but know that it's all pointing towards this moment, because the Five of Cups is here, and I had that 2 times in the July eclipse readings for Pisces. So in your fear sector, we have the Five of Cups in reverse, and there is a resistance of letting go of disappointment, because maybe you've integrated that disappointment so much into your personality that now it's hard. We often like to do that. We hold on to a certain hurt or to a certain disappointment, and then it's really hard to let it go because it's so much part of our whole personality. So we define ourselves through it very often. And once that becomes more conscious, we all do that. I think once that becomes more conscious, which I think is the case for you, you became very conscious of that here, especially with the Five of Coins also in reverse, that you in reality very much saw that happening within yourself. The process of letting that go is not like this, you know. This is not something that just happens from one. You're like, okay, I'm gonna let it go, and that's it. That would be wonderful if that would work like that, but it just doesn't. So working yourself through that letting go process of this part of yourself that defines you as having to deal with this disappointment. I think this is still in the works, and the universe really helps you with that and just asks you to sit still and let the process happen within you. But therefore, it might still not be clear to you which direction to go next. But it will be very clear soon, I'm very sure, because with the Sun, things become very clear. It's just not about time yet, but I think as soon as the Wheel of Fortune, and this is the next couple of weeks, because I do these readings from when you see it, like up to 3 months, I would say. So it's more in depth, and it's more it brings in more time. So it's processes that are a little more time intensive. But yeah, I would say in the next couple of weeks, you will slowly feel the wheel turning. And I really think it's going to be this, I have a feeling that you're really going to feel it physically in a way, that there is really planetary movements for you working that really have an impact on your body even, I think. Not in a bad way, just in a, you might feel shifts within yourself, where maybe at some point you're really tired or you really need to sleep, and because there is so much working happening within you and so much progress that is very deep and very subconscious. So give yourself that rest with the Four of Swords. It's very important. Give yourself that rest. Give yourself the permission to just let thoughts happen the way they happen without controlling them. So meditating is great, for example, or just sitting in it, I think is really good in your situation. And experiencing the shifts within you, and maybe trying to consciously, or being aware of how that feels and how that slowly sheds things. I feel like it's really shedding things, and it's shedding another layer of a deep I don't want to say issue, but of a deep topic that you've been dealing with, and it's another really thick layer that gets worked through and you can then let go of. With the Wheel of Fortune, we go through karmic cycles, and it's a big step, so it's a big one. After that, I think it will be very clear, very fast. At some point you will just be like, oh, this is it. Now I can tell something is also, first it's shifting within your consciousness, within your subconscious, then within your consciousness, and then it becomes also visible in the real world. But that just will take some time, but it's here, it's already here. It's just not yet. But know that this Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Coins, they're already here. They're waiting, ready to present themselves as soon as this is done. But you cannot rush this, because the Wheel of Fortune is something that really tells you that everything is happening at the right time for you, and you cannot control this right now. So it really asks you to sit in it and let it happen for you. Well, Pisces, I think this helped you. I think this gave you a little more insight. I thank you so much for tuning in, and if you are into these readings and into this channel, then please subscribe and like and comment. Thank you for coming back. For the people who haven't or have been waiting for English readings again, I know I didn't do them too regularly. I'm trying to catch up again. And yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting me, and I hope I'll talk to you soon. Bye.